And good Sunday morning to everybody. It's PM in the AM, but AM in the AM as usual, because somebody still hasn't figured out the intrawebs yet. Yeah, that's right. Pat Bernard, he's somewhere floating in the rafters. Sure, pantsless, shirtless, something, somewhere, somehow. Sunday mornings here at it's Rap Sports Network. I'm Big L, along with Mike Laro, talking Philly sports and everything. Getting you ready for your first full Sunday slate of NFL games and so much more. Mike, what's going on?
Oh, dude, it's Sunday. It's no pressure. It's no pressure, no football pressure. Our game's already out of the way. You get to sit back, feed your face today, just watching 7 hours of football, as our buddy Scott Hansen would say. But Al, I actually got a surprise for us. This is our anniversary show, 7-year anniversary. What started with Devereaux Sports. It's been my 5th with Pat. So why not bring him back? Guess what? He's off the milk carton, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I have found Waldo. Hi, Pat.
Hey, what's going on?
Always trying to put nuts in his mouth.
Always trying to put nuts in his mouth. Jesus, God, Pat.
Well, it's a little hard to come by, so it's a little girthy. But listen, we're not here to talk. Oh, right, coffee.
Movie rules still in effect.
Nope, and nope.
Well, listen, it's been a long 6 weeks, man, and I've been trying to I feel like I'm in the backwoods of Alabama trying to get my internet fixed and situated, because I feel like I'm in Windows 93. But you know what? This is the big anniversary day, and 7 years ago today, me and a original member of mine, he'll be joining the show a little later. We kind of created this thing, and it's been up and going. We helped a bunch of people, as you know, start their own podcasts, start their own shows, such as the Sully Squad, Breaths and Bias Slams, Steel Steps. There's a lot, Combat Misfits. There's been a lot of shows that come by. But Mike, I don't know how you've done it, how you survived these last 5 years. Monique always says, "God bless that man's soul."
She's a smart woman. She's a smart woman. She knows firsthand.
How he hasn't entered the hospital realm yet.
It's been close. It's been close.
The high blood pressure. Now Al is, I know we've been over here, we went from Edge of Philly Sports, but here with It's a Wrap, Al Safiri himself producing the program. I don't know how he hasn't made to the hospital yet, dealing with us.
No, mainly you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
Me and
it's
Al
like the three. It's like the Three Stooges. And I'm like Curly. I'm the.
I know. Yes.
Most of the problems. I'm the most of the problems.
You're exactly right. Me and Al take turns slapping you, getting you back.
All right. Hey, listen. Sometimes you gotta slap the meat once in a while. Listen.
I believe he pays extra for that, Mike.
He does every Saturday night. But hey, Pat, glad to have you back on. We got a nice show lined up. We really
we got Mike, it's like a jacuzzi loaded with men.
Whoa, pause. I didn't miss this. Just pause. No jacuzzi, no meat sticks, none of that crazy shit. But no, we definitely have a nice action pack. We will be having guys join us. We are going to do basically a NFC East roundtable today. We got Paul Spencer coming over from Out of the Box. He does the Cowboys to them. What is it? We them boys or them boys 215 boys.
Cowboys Weekly.
That's right. I'm sorry. Well, he's changed it on me. All right.
Yeah. Now you got him. We got Pudgy Mike coming up on the program.
Pudgy Mikey up. He'll be representing the Giants.
And we got Ed from the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. He'll be on the program. We got like you said, we got an action pack loaded with dudes. So let's get right to the first part of it, though. Mike, these Phillies, I go away, and maybe I'm the bad luck. We all agree
to that.
We all agree to that.
Brandon Marsh has come around a little bit. Harrison Bader, the playmaker, has looked great. That bottom part of the lineup has looked strong, and it doesn't matter where in the strike zone the pitch is coming to. Brandon Marsh is making the best of it right now. And he's, he's playing for his position. He obviously wants to stay next year. We always talk he's like should be the first to go. But Mike, I want to get to the first problem at hand. What's going on with Casty? Why is he not getting everyday playing time when he
because
wants
right,
for?
I kind of think it's good for the Phillies, to be honest with you. He really wasn't playing his part in the field.
Yes, I
And
will be back, Steve.
And I will say this, him only being in the lineup has really kind of helped him, because if you looked at the last couple times he played at the plate, he was like 2 for 4. He was like 1 for 3. Like his hitting's come around a little bit more now that he's been given the time off. And you know what? If this is the success for this team to win, and to be honest with you, I think the media is making more of it than Castellanos is. I watched the interview with Max Kepler Friday night, and Max Kepler, who's a part of this rotation, literally said, hey, look, we're not, we're used to being everyday players, but the fact that we're in this and that we're able to be in a rotation, because you're seeing Kepler's getting hits. Bader's a stud.
Yes.
Bader is a stud. And the best quote that I've seen so far came from Lenny Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra said, Bader is that guy. And no, he is not my son. So, but yeah, I to me, what we need to now is, and I'm really liking it. You got to remember too, Walker Buehler's actually going to be on the way too. So once Buehler gets on the way,
right, and I know I'm going to dive into the pitching staff. So, well, like I said, what I'm seeing, I get it. Cassie's not seeing everyday playing field, and like you said, maybe this is going to make him a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more hungrier when the next time he takes the plate. And again, we all know it. He's very aggressive after every first swing. We get all that, but again, it's like Topper kind of said it without reading between the lines, like. If it's he'll make the adjustments when the time be. Like if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like what he's putting on the field now, and I get it, it's the fish. We got 10 kids on the street who could beat the Marlins. We got all that, but still, I mean, and guys are producing now. You're getting production from, like you said, Max Kepler, the outfielders, Marsh, Bader, all those guys. And now a kind of bounce back game, talking to pitching staff. How about Lazardo yesterday? 8 Ks, only a few hits. I mean, he looked really, really good yesterday. Some slow sweepers, fastballs, working the bottom part of the strike zone. He looked good yesterday.
He did. And you also got to remember, too, there's probably a little bit behind that, too, because he was dealt by the Marlins in the offseason. So you always want to go back. You always want to go back and make the organization who dealt you away.
Yeah, you want to, and plus that's his hometown. So, yeah, I mean, he played with a little bit of an edge.
I'll tell you what, but for all the worrying from when the Phillies got swept up in Shea about, a week and a half ago, you're looking at it right now. They're right back at the same spot. Right now, they're 7 games up on the Mets. The Mets got another game today in Cincinnati. Okay, the Giants have closed in on the Mets, and basically, the Giants. Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
No. To raise your point, real fast, Steve. I'm going to get to your post here, but no, like you kind of like the Mets are kind of they're getting called at the wrong time because, and not just them. I mean, the Dodgers are on a 5-game losing streak themselves. So, like I said, the only team to me that worries me some moving forward, come postseason time, would be the Brew Crew. Outside of that, I'm not scared. And you and I understand the whole pitching staff situation. It's not great here. We understand it's going to be the Phillies offense that's going to have to carry this team moving forward. Like they're going to have to put up 8 to 9, 10 runs a game to order to survive in the postseason. We get all that, but I mean the other teams are starting to fall apart. Steve, to answer your point, Harrison Bader has been really good, doing great with the bats, but his defensive game is great too. The one play he made the other night at the Wooden Track, robbing the home run. I mean, he's really stepped up.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't. With Bader being there, okay, he's a Swiss Army knife. You can put him in left field, you can put him in center. And like I said, it's a mutual option for next year. So if he does a deep run with the Phillies, the Phillies might reward him with a contract going a little bit further. Because, I mean, I don't see him really diminishing, and he's a really good player. And it kind of sets up your outfield for next year, where a guy like Castellanos might be on the move, and that could actually help the Phillies maybe get, excuse me, can maybe get some bullpen help, maybe I see some pieces moving. If they don't get to the ultimate goal this year, I can see some pieces of the Phillies getting moved. I can see an Alec Bohm getting traded. I can see Castellanos getting traded. Like, if you're going to move those off, okay, I think they're going to re-sign Kyle Schwarber. I think they're going to open up the checkbook. I think he's going to get re-signed. But, Pat, just to give you a little heads up right here, I'm looking, and right now there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 teams, bro. 4 teams that have winning records in the whole National League in the last 10 games. The last 10 games, Arizona is 8-2. Our Fighting Phils are 7-3. And you have the Cardinals and the Pirates at 6-4. Everybody else is 500 and below. The Mets are at 500. The Braves are 4-6. You're looking at the Brewers and the Cubs. They're both 5-5 over their last 10 games. The Dodgers are 3-7. The Padres are 3-7. I'm sorry, and I got to throw the Giants in there too. The Giants are 8-2 as well. So there you have it. And the Giants right now are 4 games behind the Mets for that wild card spot. They're 4 games behind, and the Reds are 5 games behind. And I've been saying this, man. Mike Fuge, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Fuge?
I've been saying this, man. As far as the Mets go, I've been putting up the Mets schedule. And the reason I've been doing that is because even though they got off to a good start when they were inside Detroit, they had a good one. But if you're looking at it, dude, like, yeah, they got to play the Reds. If they lose today, they're going to lose 2 or 3 from the Reds. Now you got a 4-game series with the Phillies. And I told you, the home road splits for the Mets are totally different. The Mets are killers at home. They're 45 and 27 at home, but they are 8 games under 500 on the road. They are 8 games. That's why I'm not worried about the Mets, but they got a killer schedule.
And look, we understand it, for the Phils, it's a lion's den going into New York City. But like you say, the shoes reverse too for them to come into here. Like, it's not an easy place to play. And listen, they're like the Phils in some way. They got a powerful lineup. If you look at their team on paper, they got Lindor, they got the Pole Bear. But if you listen to guys like Pudgy Mike, who his nipples are on fire when breaking down that squad. There's like a lot of problems with inside. So Al, I want to get your perspective. What are you seeing right now with this Phillies team as far as the Castellanos, the pitching staff? Are you afraid of the pitching staff moving forward into the postseason? Where are you with this team?
I'm more relaxed with the starting pitching staff than I thought I would be with the loss of Zach Wheeler. I'm saying relaxed. Let me rephrase that. It's still a huge loss, and it's not going to be the same. You could slice it whatever which way, but how the team has responded has made me feel better-ish in this sense than normally would be. And I mean, this city, I've said before, has been well known for losing big players and being able still to come back and win championships. So, I like I mean, even Ranger had a hell of a game recently. Christopher Sanchez, I mean, probably the most underrated signing and contract that the Phillies have had in probably 2 decades, easily. So that's and like you said about Luzardo, I mean, Luzardo's doing his thing. Him and Ranger both sometimes get traffic on the bases, but they seem to come out of it. Now, does that change when the lights are brighter and we're in playoff mode and every run, every base hitter is a little bit more palatable? I mean, not palatable. Just heated up. Just things are worse. Just looking at you like you can't. Or are they going to struggle more? Because like we've seen like Aaron Nola in the past. Here's a guy who has when he gets guys, when there's nobody on base, he can deal. When somebody's on base, it's like a whole different Aaron Nola. And that's the big question for me going forward. Is Aaron Nola number 4 in the rotation?
Yes.
And here's my thing is that, and the Nick Castellanos things gives you a lot of hope for the Phillies moving forward, in the sense that Nick Castellanos is 20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Normally this Phillies team like, well, it's $20 million a year. We gotta play this guy, right? We can't just not play this guy, and they're not. Bader has been a huge plus. People kind of poo-pooed the Bader move after
I didn't.
you
I
signed.
didn't.
I'm saying generally, they signed Duran, and then they were expecting another big acquisition. But Bader has been huge from an energy standpoint, a production standpoint. I mean, he's hitting
Karen standpoint.
Yeah, right. He and listen, give that bottom of the order its credit where it's due. If they can continue to hit like that, and the big boys up top can get back to their normal swing of things, this team can do something. Listen, we'll find out what that something is, but that the team is poising itself to be something special.
And I got to disagree with Steve there. Steve had a comment up there. Not named as our Steve Fuentes. He said Pittsburgh sports suck. I got to disagree with that. The Steelers have gotten, they got 6 Super Bowls. Hold on. The only thing that's been stinking in Pittsburgh has probably been the Pirates. And I think if they had different ownership, I think they would be a lot better. Come on. I mean, their hockey team has won like 4 cups since our team's been last in the Stanley Cup. So we can't really kind of, I like our people from the western side of the state. That Permane Brothers sandwich is nasty. It's not as good as a cheesesteak, but I still like the other guys on the other side of the state there.
Right, and right before I get into talking more Phil's guys, and then stick around too, because It's a Wrap Sports picked up a new show and from across the state. That's right, we are going to have a pre and post Steelers show for you guys. That's right, the Steel Sundays. Your Sundays will never be the same because you get a little dose of us on the East Coast.
Mr. Producer talking. It's Steel City Sundays. Can you please read, sir?
No, I can't.
No, he can't. He cannot read.
Listen, put 4 words together.
The mouth moves, but the little toy duck in the brain.
No, there's no parallel with that.
Line up with the mouth. I mean,
no. And listen,
there's a whole thing. Call him the gobbler because all he's good for is eating with his mouth
and swallowing and all those other things.
See, here we go again. Not even on the show. 20 minutes, man, and I've already. I gotta fight my coffee down here. Will you stop? Yes. Jesus.
But look, Mike, I do want to Al, you brought up a good point. You brought up Al Sanchez. To me, being your second best pitcher without a fastball, but he could dial you up and carve you up with a sinker, knuckle curve, all that good stuff. I mean, he's really unhittable. And to see where he became, we saw the progression last year, but now where he's at. And like you kind of said, he kind of took over that Nola spot already. Nola, I don't know. I mean, I thought after the 60 days, and I get there maybe still be more rust to his arsenal that we know of. Maybe still dealing with a lingering injury that we don't know of. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I mean, the command is just not the same anymore. Now he's hitting batters. He's all over the place. I think he's putting more pressure on himself that he has to be perfect with everyone in the pitching staff stepping up, like the Suarez's, the Luzardos, the Sanchez's. Everyone's kind of stepping up here and going and losing Wheeler forces you to step up. And then there's another point that you brought up. You brought up about the bottom part of the lineup kind of stepping up. How about Bryson Stott?
I was
falling at 7th to 8th hole. But with no pressure being on him, he's become a powerhouse.
Yeah, you know what? I was just about to bring him up. I mean, if you're really looking at it from basically, I'm taking away the top 4 guys, okay? I'm taking away the top 4 guys, Pat. I'm taking away Schwarber, Bohm, Harper, and Real Muto. I'm taking them guys out. If you're looking at from Brandon Marsh down in that lineup last night, they literally had, 4, 15, 18. So they had 18 at bats, and they were They were 7 for 18 last night. 7 for 18 with 2 runs batted in. But the bottom of the lineup set the tone. And I've been saying this now going back during the fighting finals that I've been covering. I keep saying if the bottom of this lineup keeps contributing the way that they've been doing it, the Phillies are going to be a hard out because you have starting pitching. Now, yes, Did 2 runs come off of Harper's bat yesterday in the first inning? Yes. But it'll be just stop and think about if Bohm and Real Muto if Bohm can ever get his act going, and I'm just going to say that flat out, Bohm, if he can ever get hot, because he has not been hot this year at all. At any point in this season, hasn't been hot. He was
hot early on. Then he got
for about
hurt,
a week. And then that was it.
But he got hurt. Then he hasn't yet to get himself back off the canvas. Out of box saying, I know Ken Friend is losing his mind again. Another good friend of the show, Ken Fry. Congratulations to that guy for losing a bunch of weight. And he did it the right way. He didn't do it my way. You know what I mean? He didn't do it my way. He actually lost a bunch of weight. He didn't have to do it, anything the hard.
Stop. Producer saying stop.
Cut his mic, will you?
All right. Speaking of we have a lot of guests to get to, so I don't want to.
Oh, we will. We are. I mean, at the 9:30 hour, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of guys coming in.
You have one in the wings right now. If you want to jump right into, you guys let me know. Ed is waiting with bated breath right now. So you tell me.
Does Ed have bated breath? Does he want to talk a little baseball with us? You can whip him out.
Well, will you knock it off? Jesus God, he comes back one day in 6 weeks. He's off the rails, this guy. What's going on, Ed?
Morning. How are you doing, gentlemen?
What's up, dude?
Hold on 1 second. On the It's a Wrap Sports family, sans Pat. We apologize about that opening, that intro for you. Pat forgets. He's only been off 6 weeks, so it's like a whole new. He's like a little baby chick. We got to teach him how to fly again.
What's wrong with that? He can fly. His Eagles flew a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Now, Ed, I know when you guys come on, we're actually waiting for our boy Pudgy Mike. He's going to be representing the Giants side of your game today. So when we get into the NFC East, I guess carousel and talking. But I know you got to be excited today. Finally, the Commanders, they have a sellout. They made it really known yesterday. They sent out an email saying thank you for the sellout. I guess reaching the NFC title game last year. How do you see this team going forward this year?
Well, it's kind of a sellout. Don't forget the stadium seats 92,000. So what they did is they just blocked off a bunch of seats. They can't really sell out any longer. You know what? They call it lightning in a bottle. They really did last year. Their defense is just a little bit too old for me. I actually have them anywhere between 7 and 9 wins. And after watching Philadelphia and Dallas, I'm leaning more towards 7 to 8 wins because Dallas, I thought Philadelphia was going to run away with the NFC. Obviously, they're not going to. I don't think anybody else is going to challenge them necessarily, but they're not going to run through the NFC. They have issues. They have 4 or 5 starters going on defense. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, if I was the defensive coordinator, I would take my defensive line and I'd put a string around them and make sure that they go up evenly. The only way he succeeds is somebody gets selfish and it opens up a lane. And that's not endemic to anything to Jalen Hurts. That's any running quarterback. If you stay disciplined in your rush lanes, there's nowhere to go. And the data shows that his QBR is way lower in the pocket than it is out of the pocket. And that's any running quarterback. You see the same thing with Jaden Daniels, same thing with Lamar, same thing with Allen, all those guys. But I just think that I thought Philly was going to run away with it. They're just not. You guys need corners badly. I'm not sure why Cooper DeJean can't be a corner, and you have that other garbage guy there who is terrible. I mean, he's a bad corner. But I don't know. I think Washington wins 8. They go 8 and 9. The defense is too old. They have too many one-year contracts. They upgraded at the corner spot. They didn't upgrade at linebacker as far as through the draft. So I'm a little maybe they get 9, but I think they get 8. And even at 9 and 8, I think they miss the playoffs.
Well, here's the thing. I was on me and my buddy Paul Spencer, who will be on later. He's going to be representing the Cowboys. I said to him, I have a feeling that this whole division will be over 500 this year. I really do. I think the Giants have gotten better. I think Washington is good. You saw how good Dallas was the other night, and that's without Micah Parsons. And the Eagles, like I said, the Eagles are right there. So I see everybody being over 500. I think this is going to be the only division in football being over 500. And guess what? The first, I think Washington's strength of schedule is 10th in the league. So you have literally from the 10th strength of schedule all the way up to I think Dallas is fourth, the Eagles are third, and the Giants have the toughest schedule. So if they can all go 9, basically over 500, think of how strong this division is going to be going forward. And I think it's good. I really do. I was probably one of the first people to say I believe that the Giants are going to be a lot better. That defense is nasty in New York. Now they got somebody. They got a game manager. They got a guy who can play quarterback with Russell Wilson. Okay, they have 2 good running backs. We're going to wait and see how good Cam Scatterbo is up there. But again, I kind of feel the same sentiments about your team. I feel like they got I feel like they went too much veteran. Not enough. I guess young and old player mix. I don't know why they let Brian Robinson go. From what I got told that he didn't fit their offense.
Well, it's what's in your hand and what's it's future. You know what he does: 700-800 yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns, and then you have the kid that apparently can break away. So they went for the mystery as opposed to the history. So we'll see if it pans out.
Going back though to cousin Steve, his comments, he brings up a good point. I mean, listen, as a Sixers, guy who owns the Sixers now, obviously he's owner now, part of the Commanders. He says, I hate to say it, I don't trust Josh Howard's communications. That's always been a hook or a catch. Yeah, listen, man, it's. Again, I've seen this franchise fall to the wayside. I mean, the Devils seem like they're in okay shape. And that could be the downfall too. I mean, until Josh Harris, unless he gets that next commodity thing he's going to invest his money into, I hope that doesn't eventually hurt the Commanders at some point.
Well, he also owns the Devils and owns Crystal Palace in the Premier League, so he's got a lot of vested interest. But he's a Washingtonian. He is native. He did go in the heyday. He was there as a fan. So hopefully that doesn't mirror the other name that should not be mentioned, who was also a fan. But I think, right off the bat, they've done a good job. They redid the locker room. They made the fan experience better. And they secured the site for the new stadium. So he's already done better than the person that shall not be named, whose biggest punishment was getting $6.4 or $6.2 billion. That was his punishment. So it'll definitely be interesting. With the Micah, who cares? They were losing with him. What does it matter? I mean, I would trade him. He's got a bad back, and he's 26 years old. So, and that's not the piece Green Bay needs. Green Bay needs a healthy quarterback, which he's been not healthy for the last 3 years. So I thought it was a good move. Dallas definitely would have got a haul if they had done it around draft time. But, you got 2 first-round picks and
they got Kenny Clark. They got Kenny Clark. I thought Kenny Clark was a really disruptor the other night. And, when we bring Paul on, we're going to let him know. Matter of fact, let's bring Paul on right now. We're going to bring Paul on to add him to this. Oh, there he is. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Paul. We got Paul Spencer from the Dallas Weekly and over at Out of the Box Sports. We're doing a little NFC East talking here, Paul. I was just saying, going back and looking at our game from the other night, Eagles boys. I thought Kenny Clark played a really strong game for the Dallas Cowboys in the middle of that lineup, man. I really did. I thought he played really well.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I mean, just like Eddie said, Micah Parsons has a bad back. And here's the thing, Mike, before I answer that question, Green Bay is going to know what this trade meant in 6 months. They're going to know. Dallas has 2 years for this trade. We don't know what we're getting in return. But, hey, the beginning piece was Kenny Clark. You're right, Mike. He played a hell of a game in the middle. I mean, Barkley being 60 yards, Hurts was 62 yards. That Hurts is different as a spy and linebacker. That's not Parsons or Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark solidified that middle there. I mean, he took over Mozzie Smith's spot right away in less than a week before he turned around with his team. I like the Kenny Clark thing. I really do. Finally, I'm not going to say it's 4 run stoppers, but at least we have 1 run stopper in the middle, and that's something Dallas was missing. I like the trade, Mike.
Yeah, and go ahead, Will.
Is that going to make Mozzie Smith better, you think?
No, I think Mozzie Smith's on the trading block, Eddie, because during my show, I said I've never seen a first-round pick 3 years ago play the entire 3rd preseason game. I'm not talking 1 quarter. Eddie, I'm talking all snaps, 60 minutes on defense, 4 quarters against 4th and 5th starters. And then right before the Eagles game, he's projected to start to give Kenny Clark, the second rotation, whatever, what have you. But Mozzie Smith was a scratch last minute. I think the writing's on the wall, Eddie.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe that. And like going in, I was hoping Pudgy Mike could get on. He may be coming. He will be the Giants representative here for this. I'm looking to hear what do you think this is for you. What do you think the Commanders got to do today to slow down this Giants? Because the Giants kind of got like their own version of the big three. They have Neighbors, they got Tracy, and now they got Wilson. Like, how is it that? What do you think that the Commanders have to do to try to limit this Giants team today?
Well, luckily, Neighbors has been out for a while with his hamstring, so I don't think he's going to be 100%. So they'll probably maybe the rookie will take him. I'm not sure, but it all turns out to run game, as we know. If you can't stop the run game, they're just going to use the run to set up the pass, and then everything is going to be wide open. You got to plug the middle with the run. They got Newton in the middle, their second round pick last year. If they don't control the clock, which they'll be able to do that on offense, so it's going to be. I don't see it as that the over under. I think is like 45, but the Commanders have to stop the run. If you don't stop the run, you're done, because that's all New York's going to do. They got their tackle back, so I think it's going to be 6.5. Is too big of a point margin. If it was 2.5, I'd go with Washington. But
it's funny. Me and Paul, I do props, locks, and parlays. There's a show here on Wednesday night that we do for betting. I actually took the Giants with the 6 points. I said these two teams, they play too close of games. There hasn't been a blowout really either way. So I took it. That to me, that Giants at 6 points was
too big.
Way too big.
Especially when Andrew Thomas is back, it's gonna, they're just too old on the defensive line is a problem.
And how do you feel about the running back situation? I know Brian Robinson got traded for a bag of peanuts. I mean, now you're going down to Eckler, who's not a bell cow, but then you're relying on some rookies. I mean, you got Merritt and Nichols. How do you feel about that?
I think Nichols and Eckler will be fine. I don't think Eckler should start. They love this kid. They think this kid's the diamond in the rough. I don't know what his name is, but he calls himself Bill. Mm-hmm. If I get it from the Cosby Show, but I mean, they really love him. Maybe they're seeing something that none of us are seeing, in practice. I mean, they were happy with Robinson. He doesn't have the game breaking speed. He's just like Najee Harris in Pittsburgh, who's now
he waits for the hold of Phil, and then takes off. But if you have a bad O-line play, you can't do anything.
Right? They got bangers. They're bangers toward the goal line. They do okay, and that's what they wanted. They wanted more explosive plays, and I guess this kid is doing it in practice. I mean, he had the one burst, the 32-yard run, which looked good, but we'll see if they can handle it. Eckler and Nichols and Eccles, they're always going to be fine. They're third down specialists, and he started for the Chargers for years.
Yeah.
So,
are you worried about Debo staying healthy the entire year?
No, because they signed Terry, and maybe they'll get Kendrick Bourne. The more players you have, the less you have to worry about him, and they're going to utilize him in the running game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the first play he took it for 26 yards, or 27 yards. So it's going to be. I just think it's the defense. Their offense is better. They got Tunsil, and they drafted another lineman, a right tackle. So it's all going to be their defense. I
like your defense. I love Frankie Louvu, man. I think he's a star.
Oh yeah, how can you not love Louvu? But I mean, he's just one dude.
Yep.
Yeah. To me, like I said, I've been saying it. I definitely think, like I said, I'm going to keep reiterating it because I want it out there. I think every team in this division is going to be above 500. Yeah. And you know what? I do think the Commanders and the Giants are going to be in the playoff run because if you look at I'm not sold on this NFC North. I think there's two teams in that division, and the two teams are going to be. I think Green Bay's going to win the division over there. That's my prediction for that. But I think the Lions find out how real it is to lose both of your coordinators. I think that's going to make them take a step back and, have to do what, they're going to go through what the Eagles went through. You know what I mean? So I don't see nothing there. The South is only going to have one team, and I believe that's going to be Tampa. And then the West, what are we getting from the 49ers, Arizona, and the Seahawks? Because right now, that's the only team out there, I believe, is the Rams.
That's the biggest wide open division out there is the NFC West. Any team can take that. I mean, Arizona's a sleeper every year. They fall apart in the end of the season, but the Niners are not what they are. The Seahawks are with what's his name, Sam out there as quarterback. It's an open division. I mean, anybody can take that division. I think the Rams are the solid key for that division, but I don't know. I mean, anything can happen.
Stafford's not healthy. If Stafford were healthy, it's Rams all day long. He needs a shot before the game. Just like Mike is going to take, which is, he's 37, so Mike being 26 in these shots is bad.
Pat, you're frozen again.
I just want to, sorry for interrupting. Frozen? Like ice?
Yeah, you're freezing a little bit.
I
Yeah,
pulled him.
Yeah, he's coming back on.
But, you wanted that NFC East showdown, so
Yes.
here it is. I believe he's ready for you. He's in the background here, and I'm going to be bringing him in, guys. Welcome in, Pudgy Mike, representing the New York Giants today.
What's up, Mike? Welcome to the
up, Mike?
conversation.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good morning.
All right, just
morning.
down for me. That's Pudgy Mike. Over that way is Will representing the Washington Commanders, and of course, diagonally from me, Paul Spencer representing the Dallas Cowboys. Mike, we were just talking about really kind of what we saw from the NFC landscape. The reason why we wanted to get you guys on, especially you and Ed, was because you guys are meeting today. So we just wanted to get your thoughts of where you see your team, the Giants, and what do you think is going to happen today down there in DC?
Me first?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, it's an easy Giant win today. It's a simple the 48-3. No, I'm kidding. No, this is people just don't get or understand the black cloud that was. Who's booing me?
Hey, it's not me. I already played. I lost.
That's got to be coming from Philly. It's coming from Philly. I guess. Yeah. So, the people don't understand the black cloud that was Daniel Jones in this franchise, man. Just not having him on this roster has done so much for this fan base, and you could see it being done for the team. Washington is an up-and-coming team that I do think does take a small step back this year. Just reviewing their schedule from last year, I think the last 6 or 7 games they played quarterbacks that the four of us could have probably suited up for those franchises during those weeks. But they still have a lot to prove to me, and I think the Giants are going to be significantly better on offense with a competent quarterback that knows what he's doing pre and post snap now, and not sending guys to cover blitzes on the right side when the blitz is coming from the left side. Little things like that will significantly help. But this isn't going to be a pushover type game anytime in the NFC East, even though the Giants haven't been competitive with a lot of these teams lately. I think it'll look a lot different in years past with a different quarterback now.
My question for you guys, for you, Mike, going down today, you're talking about NFC East football. I feel like, and I've been telling these guys, this will be the third time I've said it, I think every team in the division has a winning record this year. I think, between the Eagles going down, I think every team's going to have a winning record. I think this will be the only division in football that every team will have a winning record. I think the Giants can be a potential playoff team just with the landscape of the NFC. Okay, I was telling Ed and Paul, you look at the North, you got Green Bay. And I know a lot of people are harping on Detroit, and I got Detroit winning today, but they're going to find out just how real that is, losing both of your coordinators. I don't believe in the Bears. I don't believe in Minnesota, not with J.J. McCarthy. The South, the only good team down there right now is Tampa. You don't know what Atlanta is. You don't know what Carolina's up and coming. The Saints are probably going to be the worst team in the league. And then, like I said, you move out west. Paul was just saying, it's a crapshoot. It's basically the Rams and whoever else can get hot. And I just think that our division, the teams in our division are better than the 3 teams other than the Rams in the West. I'm not sold on the 49ers at all. I felt like if there's a team that lost a lot of pieces, it's the Niners, especially on defense. Their heart and soul is now in Denver.
Yeah, there's the biggest problem, right? Once you have to pay your quarterback, other sacrifices have to be made. They had to give Brock Purdy, what they give him, 45, I think $50 million a year. Now and now Washington picks up Debo. They had to make all these significant moves because you have to pay the quarterback, and it starts to bite them a little bit moving forward. I think the Rams are being slept on just a little bit. I still think Sean McVay is probably the best coach in the NFC. A healthy Matthew Stafford is still a top 3 quarterback in the NFC. So if you get him with the weapons that they have, even though they lost Kupp, I still think the Rams are a big time sleeper team. But the true gauntlet, yes, is the AFC when it comes to the quarterback play.
I think the Rams actually got better on offense. I mean, picking up Devontae Adams, powered with Puka, that's a nasty combination. But just like we said, if Stafford can stay healthy, that's the key right there. I mean, they could be a solidified 1 position in the NFC, honestly.
Yeah, they could. I mean, if you look at it, just look at you have Puka, you have Devontae Adams, you got Kyron Williams running the ball,
Yes.
and you got Higbee as a tight end. Like they got four viable options, man, and they got that defense, and that defense
Young
is
defense,
young. That defense is young and nasty. So, to me, honestly, the Rams are, I think like if anybody's saying like challenges to the Eagles, like it's going to, I think the 3 division opponents are going to be a challenge to the Eagles. I think, I think the Rams, and we get to see that really in 2 weeks. Because the Rams come to Philly in 2 weeks to play, and I'm hoping Stafford's healthy by then, just to see, how that game's going to transpire. So, question
Mike, I got a question for Mike. For probably forget this real quick. That Giants defense is loaded this year. Okay, you guys are loaded. What's your starting four look like, and what way would you want it? Because I mean, you have bookends. D tackles that are out insanely wise. How do you play this defense? I mean, what is your starting rotation? Just based on your preference.
Yeah, so I'll preface anything I say with, on paper, yes, the defense looks tremendous. Picking up Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland, adding all these extra pieces that they desperately needed. I'm probably running Carter. Well, I'll probably go Thibodeau, Carter, and Lawrence in the middle, and I would go Burns on the outside. You got 4 guys. You got like 3.5 guys that will consistently win. Thibodeau's kind of iffy. Depending on the significance of the game is usually when Kayvon Thibodeau shows up, just like at Oregon. But you got 4 guys that should be able to beat one-on-one blocks in a consistent basis. I don't see how you double team everybody. If they're not top 3 in the league in sacks by like week 10, then something has to be figured out with this defensive coordinator who has a lot of question marks attached to him already, because the weapons that you have to just throw out there, and if you're able to rush the quarterback like previous Giants teams with only 4 guys and not have to blitz so much, what's killed the Giants in years past, I'm hoping that Carter is as advertised, and I think he will be. I think he was the best player in the class. Burns constantly wins, and then you have Dexter Lawrence, who I still think is the best D tackle in football. There's no excuse to not get to the quarterback. There's just no excuse.
Yeah, the reason why I said we have a Giants podcast on our show, and I was hearing rumors that they might to stop the run. They might even go to a 5-3, which makes the other team go to a 12 personnel, which benefits the defense. 2 tight ends. Some might even run a 13 with 3 tight ends. Do you think they ever will run a 5-3 with this package? I mean, they are stout up front. The size is incredible.
No, it's a great point, because you could put 3 guys up there to get a constant rush as well. Mm-hmm. Lawrence commands 2 guys by himself. Right. Burns is a constant winner. He doesn't always finish the play at the quarter, but he's always constantly winning. He's like 3rd in wins over the last couple seasons. And you have Carter, who I also read, there might be some spying going on with Jaden Daniels. He has the ability to spy the quarterback. He's got the athleticism. So this is all predicated on what Shane Bowen likes to do. He has that bend but don't break defense historically. I don't want to hear that crap anymore. I want them to get to the quarterback, put pressure. Don't let these guys sit in the pocket for 5, 6, 7 seconds like they have been over the years.
Agree.
So when the Giants do that, and then Washington goes max protect, I still think the back end of that Giants defense is vulnerable. Even if they threw 5 out there, you go max protect. I still think McLaurin can get open. I still think Debo will get open. The reason I'm not higher on the Giants is because their back end is not elite.
I like Banks. I like Banks, but I'm not sold on what's his name, Aidens, I think it is, that you guys are starting there, Mike.
I mean, Banks, I watched him at Maryland. He was a decent player, but I'm just not sold on that back end. I mean, the front line was legit.
Not to interrupt, we have a question here on our, I guess, TikTok or something. It's not going to pop up on the screen. I guess this goes to Pudgy Mike. A couple questions have come out. It says, how long is it before Carter becomes an Eagle?
Hey, anything can happen, right?
As long as he's a healthy scratch, just like Ojolari was, then we won't have a problem.
That's all. That's the only question they had. It was about 12 people asked that question.
Give it about 4 years before these guys start demanding $70 million a year?
Yeah, when we're going to see the $100 million quarterback in a couple of years, it's going to happen.
That's the problem I think the NFL has. I think they should look toward the NBA, not the product the NBA has, but the idea of being able to sign your hometown team, your hometown guy, the Larry Bird rule, because it's not sustainable. Dallas could not afford to sign Micah, and they couldn't afford not to sign him. I mean, if they had signed Micah, that's 60 to Dak, 47 to Micah, and how much does CD make?
33.
Yeah, you can't sustain that as a franchise. That's 3 players, and it's almost $150 million.
And the thing is, with this cut here, it gave us $23 million on the cap next year, and plus the cap extends higher next year. So I'm cool with it. Right now we walked in with 34, and right now we have $57 million again back on the cap plus next year. I'm fine with it. Plus 2 picks. Hey,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I would also like to see the
one
NFL
guy-
just restrict the quarterbacks to 20% of the entire cap. So meaning the cap next year is going to be $300 million. So the max APY for quarterback would be 60 and exempted because you can't build teams. It's stupid. Look at Washington, right? If Jaden Daniels continues on this meteoric rise, right? He has 2 more years like he had. What's the number going to start with? 7, 8? You can't sustain a franchise like that. There's no way. You just can't do it. I mean, it's
I wish there was one guy out there who could figure out how to work the cap enough to keep premier players on one team.
Oh, is there a guy out? Is there a guy out there? Do we know?
No, I wish there's this magical magician kind of.
There is no magician, and all those guys are full of shit. All they're doing is buying the future. That's all they're doing. If you look at the contracts, you're going to pay, I think, what Jalen Hurts in his last year is $97 million APY. They're not going to pay that. All they're doing is borrowing against the future. There is no genius out there. You get lucky in draft, which is all they did.
Hey, Eddie, I'll take the 1 year, brother. I've been around for 30 years. I'll take the 1 year, brother.
That's true. But, I mean, you still got to remember that the Eagles are down there. There's still that little kid in the room because they only have 2, right? So there's still a little kid in the room.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's the only division
Hold on.
in football that every team has Super Bowls.
You know,
Greatest division in all of football because every team has Super Bowls. They have the most appearances and they have the most Super Bowls. And if you add all the,
at least the Giants and the
they have
Eagles,
even more.
it's on their banners up there. I do. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, Ed, how old are you now?
55.
So okay,
yeah, so you were probably in high school the last time the Redskins won. Like the Redskins won. Mark Rippon was your
92.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I know. I actually won money in high school on that bet.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I'm gonna be 50 next year. Like, I'm not trying to hear that, man.
You'll fuck it up somehow. You always do.
Oh, well, you know, what's going to happen when the Eagles start catching the teams in the division with Super Bowls? Then what? You're not going to see them.
Year.
Oh, well,
maybe
it may not. Maybe not. Maybe it won't. I don't know. You know, but still, I mean, if you're looking at teams that are built right now, I like how, I'm going to be honest with you, I like the way you guys are trending. I like the way the Giants are trending. Me as an Eagles fan, I don't like it when it's.
I'm down here too, brother. What about the Cowboys?
The Cowboys are, you know, I don't know, dude, because you guys can get a stacked team, and then that dude,
really.
Your owner finds a way to throw a monkey wrench in and screw it up.
True.
So I think you guys will be good after he kicks the bucket.
No, he's going to clone it. He's going to clone it. I heard he already cloned it for the next 50 years.
They've already announced what he's doing. He'll never die. Because what they're going to do is that's why he had a kid.
Stephen
and
Jones,
he's in charge. He's going to put his brain in his son's skull and just be done with it. Jerry Jones will live on forever. He's got that kind of money.
I think they sold their soul in the 90s for those three championships in the 90s. Because, like, I can't see, like, even though it took us 57 years to win our first Super Bowl, like, I can see Dallas, like, being longer. Like, I think we'll be old and gray, I think, by the time Dallas wins number 6.
I'm going to be dead.
The way I look at it, though, but I like it. I don't know about you guys. I think it's more satisfying when all the teams in the division are good.
Yeah.
You know, that you're all playoff because it means something. Like this division, I'm sorry, it's the best division of football. To me, it is the best division of football. I don't want to hear, you know, the Patriots had a 20-year run, but they had a 20-year run with 3 teams stinking. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, as much as there's venom between the Eagles and the Giants, the Eagles and Cowboys, especially, even the Commanders, like they're always close games. And on our part, there's very rarely any blowouts. I mean, I can remember for at probably 20 years, the Eagles and former Skins would play. It'd be less than 7 points every year. You know, if one team was winning somewhere, the other team was winning the next one. Same thing with the Cowboys. Same thing with the Giants. I like it better when it's like that. I think it brings a certain, I don't know, just certain bragging rights. You can look at the rest of the NFL and go, "You're not us."
Yeah,
and that's why
I still think Philly wins the division.
I do, but I think it's going to be close, man.
The fight for second is going to be closer than it's been in years.
Oh, I do. I think there's going to be, like I said, that's why I love the fact that we played the Cowboys opening week. You guys, you and Mike's team, you guys are playing today. So before you, I think you got to get out of here, right? Because you got the Pittsburgh show.
No, I'm not doing that today. Thank
Oh,
God.
you're not doing. Okay, all right. So I just want the main thing was me and Paul are going to talk about Eagles Cowboys, but I want you and Mike to kind of give me your feel on this game today, and your predictions. Like, what do you think is going to happen, and give me the final score.
As the defending playoff contender, you could go first if you like.
Okay. All right. As a defending game where we got smacked by those people that live in Philadelphia. Anyway, I don't know how the defense of Washington is going to come out. 6.5 points is way too much for me. If I were betting, I would definitely take the Giants. I'm looking toward a closer game because I know that on offense, Washington wants to control the ball. I'm sure the Giants want to do the same thing. I think it's whoever's defense you trust more. I don't have a great feeling about today. I really don't. I'm going to say 20-17 Washington, but I could very easily see it being 20-17 Giants. But being a Washington fan, I'm going to go 2017 Washington.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
So one of the positive things this year compared to last year, I think the Giants are going to dress a kicker this year, which will be great because they won't have to go for it on 4th and 5 3 or 4 times like they did last year. I have the Giants today 28-21 in it's going to be tight in a fourth quarter type of NFC East type game. And if the Giants don't win today, I'll be very upset because I think this is one of our big shots at coming out and just putting just getting rid of the nasty vibes that have been on this franchise for a couple of years now. This would be the win that everybody. I haven't seen many people picking the Giants today, which I truly love. And as a Giants fan, that's kind of been our MO, even in those Super Bowl runs. Everybody picks against the Giants, and they come out today and win the game. I do agree the 6.5 is very big. It's a huge number, I think. But if I was a betting man, I'd take the Giants. And today, I also think the Giant offense will look a lot different than it has over the last few years. And I think it's like a 20. Yeah, 28-21. This is the team that led the preseason in scoring, guys. What are we
they were
doing?
playing against the UPS drivers, the bouncers.
We're still going to be playing against them.
No, not on this defense. You got at least a couple players. I just don't see him getting 28 points. I'd be shocked especially with Neighbors injured.
Neighbors is a full go. He's ready to go today.
He's got a hamstring. That's going to be all year. We know how hamstrings work, unfortunately.
All right, guys. Here's some people checking in. Wanted to know who you are. If you're looking over to my my right, I guess it would be Ed the Mighty Quinn. He's representing the Washington Redskins. Down below me, right below me here is Pudgy Mike. He's representing the New York Giants from Pudgy Sports. I guess cat a corner from me is Paul Spencer from Out of the Box Sports Network. He's representing the Dallas Cowboys. We are having a friendly discussion of NFC East opponents, and this way we kind of letting Mike and Ed go about their game because their game is early today. Me and Paul are going to talk about. We're going to do a recap of the Eagles Cowboys coming up, and now that both of you guys have given your prediction, and we kind of heard what you had to say about the Eagles. Mike, what's your opinion of the Eagles and the Cowboys from what you saw Thursday night? What would be your takeaway of seeing your other two NFC East opponents?
Well, just from Dallas's point of view, from what the national media was saying about them, they're still going to be a competitive football team. Excuse me. Just because I know it sounds contradictory, but they got worse by trading Micah, but they're still going to be better off for trading Micah. As much as people laughed at that trade, I've been there with the whole Barkley situation last year. I know how it feels, but Dallas will be just fine. They're going to compete. They're going to have their typical Dallas blowout wins against the lower teams in the league. They're probably going to beat us twice. Then they're going to finish with 9-8 wins, or they're going to be right in playoff contention. Nothing's going to be wrong with them. I was a little worried about what I saw with Philly. It might just be a week one thing. I don't want to overreact or underreact to a lot of stuff, but the week one thing from Philly was a little alarming in terms of them throwing the football. I mean, this team, I really, truly think this team is a Saquon injury away from becoming like a 6-7 win team. And there's no slight at Philadelphia, although I love to slight Philadelphia. But Jalen Hurts is a great running back. But when it comes to throwing the football, I don't trust them at all. Dallas did an excellent job. Maybe it's more on Dallas than it was the Philly, but they did an excellent job of keeping everything underneath. And if that's going to be the MO moving forward throughout the season, then it's gonna be tough for Philly to repeat, but I still think that they will repeat, especially in the division. But I loved what I saw from Dallas, keeping it close, keeping it competitive. They're 2 or 3 CD catches away from winning the game, in my opinion. So Dallas needs. Philly already signed the edge rusher from Detroit last year. So
Zadarius Smith.
So there is some sort. I look at that as a little bit of desperation right away because they're seeing the writing on the wall there. My man Ojolari is not. I don't think he's going to contribute much. As a lot of people wanted to brag to me that he was going to Philly. He's going to have 15 sacks. But I think we saw what we're going to see throughout the year, like you mentioned before. All these games are going to be competitive until the Giants get blown out today. But I think all the games will be super competitive. And Dallas, everybody overreacted to the Micah trade, and Philly, everybody just kind of anointed them already as the back-to-back champions. And I think it's going to be kind of what we see moving forward.
Okay. Well, like I said, we got your guys' predictions. Basically, what we're going to do from here, guys, is Ed, we are finished with you today. So we want to thank you for coming on. Mike, I want to put you in the green room just for a little bit. I want to get your take after me and Paul do this little quick recap of Eagles Cowboys. I want to get your take on the upcoming Phillies-Mets series. Just so I'm going to put you on a brief kind of pause there. Ed, I'm going to thank you so much for coming on. Let everybody know, where can they see you, buddy?
They can see me every Wednesday on the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and every Thursday on Gridiron Weekly, on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitch, everything.
Ed, do you live in Pittsburgh?
I do.
I'm in Johnstown, brother, about 45 minutes away.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, you don't root for the hometown team either.
No.
No.
Yeah, neither do I. All right, good to see you, fellas. Thanks. Anytime.
Easy.
Thank you so much, Ed.
Yep.
All right. I wanted to thank both those guys for coming on. Paul, now we get to talk about our game.
Definitely.
To me, I'm going to be honest with you. A little too close for my liking. I didn't think it was going to be close. With that, I want to give Dallas's defense a lot of credit. But after going back and kind of breaking down the all 22, I saw a little video, these breakdowns of the game the other night. Matt Eberflus, man, I'll tell you what, he did the umbrella defense with Jalen.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I'm going to say is Dallas was a spy away from really kind of shutting the Eagles down. Hopefully, Adoree Jackson, that was just a bad game for him. He did get replaced by Jaquan Bennett later on.
He sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to step in on that one. Adoree Jackson, I even think Paul would drive him to the airport right now. He was that bad. He's a deface to football in general, not even just the Eagles anymore.
Yeah, 100%, Al. I mean, on my show, I said, Mike, you heard it. The X factor is going to be Adoree Jackson. Wherever Adoree Jackson lines up, that is going to be the open guy. I don't care if he's in a slot. He moves with Cooper Gene on the outside. You go against Adoree Jackson, and that was one of the key to games, Mike. And you said it well. It was a spy away and 2 drop balls away from a victory. That's all it was to me. But I got to give credit to the Dallas defense. Eberflus, the only mistake you made is no spy, and I understand that no linebackers could stick Hurts last night. It was going to be Jack Sanborn, and Jack Sanborn was slower than me, most likely, So I give credit to Trayvon Diggs. He played a hell of a game, not shutting down. Maybe they didn't look AJ's way, but I got to give credit to this Dallas defense. A lot of rookies stepped in. I just comment right here. Leave that one there. Dallas doesn't have Parsons running run gap, but you don't know the rookies they have. James Houston is a nasty outside line running defensive end. He's a first-year player. He should be starting. Sam Williams finally getting the presence. They played really well. Kneeling finally showed up. Parsons is one guy on the edge when you can't stop the run, and it showed last night when you have guys containing your gaps. Fowler missed a couple gaps, didn't stay home last night on Thursday night. Got a couple big runs, but 5 guys on defense are better than 1 guy on the edge to me.
Yeah, and I like that Kneeling kid. I thought he had a really strong game. Houston had a very strong game on the edge too. Coming from an Eagles perspective on that game, I thought our left side of the line was Dickerson goes out injured. So Tote's got to come in there. But I thought Jordan Mailata had a bad game.
He did. I'm confused about that one.
I'd have to say that the Eagles O-line to get all together had a very slow week 1 type of game. So there was a big difference there. The Jalen Carter loss also for the defensive side of the line, I think was also, not also, I don't think it was a huge blow.
Mhm.
And I give Dak Prescott his credit. He figured a way of taking him out without even,
Yeah.
throwing a football.
What was that called, Al? Spit bait? He took the bait? Spit bait?
Yeah. We've talked about it. We've talked about it before. We've coached where we always tell the guy who gets caught.
Walk away. Walk away. Yeah.
The guy who gets retaliation is the one who gets caught every time.
But I mean, my takeaway from this is going forward. Like I said, I think these guys are going to be. I think it's going to be a very tight race, man. I really do. And the best part I love about it is if you look at the rankings of the scheduling, right? Toughest to toughest to non-toughest. Like I said, I think Washington's at 10. Okay. You have the Giants have the hardest schedule in the NFL. Then you got the Eagles with the third highest schedule, and Dallas is right behind us. So, like, to me, there's going to be no excuse when you get other teams' fan bases going, well, they don't do BS. If your division, 4 of your 16, 4 of your teams are in the top 10 for hardest schedule in all football, they deserve to be there with a winning record. And I'm going to keep reiterating that because I really do. I think the Giants are going to be a lot better than people think. I also think Dallas is going to be Dallas. I think they're going to be right there in the mix of things, talking about, being ahead for the division. And I think Washington's going to take a drastic step back. I'm not sold on that offense as much as Ed was. But to me, I felt like their bell cow, like you traded your bell cow back, for a guy that you don't know. And I'm sorry, I wouldn't have traded Brian Robinson. I would have found a way to make him fit my offense. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that, but I look at it like this. I also got to look at it too as week 1. This is the first time the starters are getting to play. They're playing a little bit more than expected. And I felt for both teams because I felt like that second break there, that weather break that they ended up getting for an hour, I think that definitely cost.
Killer that was. I was at that game. That was killer.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Now that stopped the momentum of that game because before that, those offenses were going up and down the field.
Yeah.
It actually gave Eberflus and Vic Fangio time to really make adjustments because when they came out, you saw Dallas's defense started making stops. Eagles' defense started making stops, and it was like then it became a punt game. You know what I mean? And for the Eagles and Cowboys to put up what they put up, and then for it to be 24-20, at the end of the game, with only 3 points being in the second half, which, by the way, if you ever watch, Skip Bayless had the greatest reaction of all. He said only 3 points. He goes, and Jake Elliott kicking a 58-yard field goal. Like if Jake Elliott can't kick. There were the 2 premier kickers, I think, in our game was on display there. I think Aubrey had, a 58-yarder, didn't he?
Yeah.
In that game, so
58, I think it was, yeah.
I mean, and I remember looking, that Jake Elliott field goal would have been good from over 60 because he kicked it from 58 and it was so high up in between going through the goalpost. Same thing with Aubrey. I think Aubrey could have kicked from 65.
Yeah, easily.
With his
leg.
Yeah. But Paul, before we let you go, buddy, tell people where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. I got numerous shows over there. Actually, even on It's a Rep Sports with Mike here, coming up. On Wednesday nights, we'll be talking. Mike joins us, of course, on the NFC War Room once in a while, College Football Frenzy. But I appreciate, having me on here. Seems like old times. And Mike, you're right, man. The Cowboys have a lot to look forward to. To me, this was a measuring stick, Mike, because Mike, we talked about how many times did they mention Micah Parsons during this broadcast? It was 28
37 million times.
And all eyes were not on Dallas. And I like it because for a team-wise, we're not being noticed. We're under the radar. And to me, this was a measuring stick, Mike. So, I'm kind of happy about this team this year, man. What's another year, brother? What's another year? Might be 31. I don't know, but we'll see.
Listen, every September, we all start from zero with the hope of raising the Lombardi trophy. So, my friend, my good old buddy Nick, who's no longer with us, he lived out near Pittsburgh. He would always say this to me. He said, one team gets to raise the Lombardi, 31 others come in second.
Exactly. I don't remember second place. That's right. But Mike, thank you so much. Al, thank you for producing, brother. Great to be back. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Good seeing you, Paul. And
Take it easy.
make sure you check him out. Paul will be with me on he'll be with me Wednesday night for props, locks, and parlays. So make sure you join us then. All right. Take care, Paul.
Real quick, before we move over to Pudgy Mike, we'll jump on here real quick. But I remind you guys, this is brought to you by the It's a Wrap Sports Network, where you can find many shows, even to the point that it's time for a schedule, boys. We'll have this cleaned up for you and everything. But it is a action-packed full here lineup at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Starting today, of course, PM and AM, Steel City pre- and post-game show. Eagles versus, I guess it's a little backwards. Eagles-Chiefs one should be next Sunday, but that'll be coming up next Sunday. Phillies, Marlins ended up today, so there'll be a post-game show for that. And, of course, the final word with Matty B. So a lot today to look forward to. Of course, you got the post-game shows and the final word with Matty B on Monday. Post-game show and Matty B on Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, props, locks, and parlays with Mikey Laro. September 11th, you get the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn. You got the attacking third talking Union soccer, because that's what it is. It ain't football. Phillies versus Mets pregame or postgame, and of course the final word with Matty B. And then on September 12th, Friday, postgame and the wraparound, hopefully with Pat Bernard this week. And of course on Saturday, Penn State Villanova for the Happy Valley Huddle, hosted by none other than Mike Laro. That's right, Mike Laro. And Phillies Royals post-game undergoing as well. So, guys, check it out. So, I know he's been waiting patiently, so let's bring him on back in because he can't wait to take more abuse. Taking in Pudgy Mike.
Mike, the reason why I'm bringing you back, we both know we're going to transition off of football right there. But big series coming up now tomorrow. Starting here, big 4-gamer with the Mets. After everything's said and done, after the sweep, Paul, you're welcome, man. Definitely look more forward to working with you more in the future, buddy. After the sweep out of Citi Field, getting ready to come back to the rematch now, the big 4-gamer here at Citizens Bank. Did you think that it would still be at 7? Because
No.
I didn't.
No, not even close. It's extremely frustrating. This Met season, honestly, has been one of the most inconsistent up and down seasons in my lifetime. For them to be in the position they were coming into that Philly series, sweeping the Philly series, which they had no business doing, and then coming out against Miami and not even salvaging a split, losing 3 of 4 to a Miami team who in the next series against Washington couldn't put up 1 run or 2 runs in each game. It's the most pathetic showing after that Philly series, and they just keep doing it. And then what do? They go into Detroit, they take 2 or 3, and then you're getting all excited again because you go into Detroit. Now they split with the Reds, and now they have a game today against the Reds facing Hunter Green. The Mets have a prospect in Brandon Sproat pitching today. You don't know what you're getting out of them. Inconsistent. And this is the shot now for the division's probably it's a long shot. This is the absolute shot now where Philly has to deliver the final blow, take 3 of 4, bury the Mets completely, and then we just focus on the wild card.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was talking earlier before you got on. Like, if you're really looking at it, it's really there's 5 teams, I think, 5 teams in the NL that have more or less winning records, over the last 10 games. As I was looking at it, I was really kind of shocked by it when we brought it up. It was number 1 has been the Giants and the Diamond 1 and 2 were Giants and the Diamondbacks. They're both 8-2. And I feel like the Giants are starting to put a little bit of pressure on the Mets. They're 4 behind them, but they've been 8-2 in their last 10. With the Phillies right behind them being 7-3, and then the other 2 teams that have winning records over the last 10, believe it or not, it's the Cardinals and the Pirates. And right now, you have the Cardinals and the Reds that they are 6 games back, 5 games back. They're 5 games back in the Mets, and then you have, the Giants are 4 games back. And Arizona and the Giants are both 4 games back of the Mets for that final wild card spot. And I know you guys got some I've been kind of going over your schedule. After that Philly series, you got Texas up at Citi Field, and then you got a 3-gamer with San Diego. And I think you guys got, what's it, next to the last series, you guys got to go to Wrigley. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you guys got a brutal September. I've been saying that. Like, I felt like if this was the time that the Phillies can put this away, I think you're right. Like, this has got to be the week. They got to take 3 or 4. You're not going to win the season series from the Mets, but you can take 3 or 4 from them. And I was saying to Pat earlier, the home and road splits that you're looking at this team, like, there's only a couple teams. I think there's like 3 teams that have winning road records this year. Like, the home road splits in the National League this year is crazy. And the Mets are like 8 games under 500 for the road. That's what's giving me that. Oh, and condolences. Davey Johnson passed away yesterday, whole World Series manager. He was a former Phil at one time, I believe. I think he played for the Phillies. Yes. But Mike, I want to. Do you think the Mets are going to go away? Do you think they hold on to that last wild card? Because right now, it's always been the last 5 years with the National League. It's always been the hot team in September that usually gets that final wild card spot and kind of goes on that run. So if it is the Mets, that's cool. Like, if that's who you're going to pick. If not, who else could you see getting hot and trying to kind of come up there?
So, I mean, right now, I think the Mets and San Diego are even separated by a game at this point for the 2 and 3 spot. So that San Diego series that might be the one that propels one of those teams, if not both, into the postseason, depending on who takes 2 of 3. I don't believe in the Reds. Even if the Mets lose 2 out of 3 to Cincinnati, I think they've been on kind of a little bit of a free fall, coming back down to earth kind of thing. But the Mets, I mean, the Mets are a 2 and 8 stretch away from making this a legit wild card race. Usually when it gets down to about 3 is when I start to get concerned with teams that are right behind us. The Giants are playing so out of their minds right now that I don't think it's sustainable. I think they'll eventually come back down to earth. The Cardinals did us a big favor yesterday by walking them off. Those teams, I think, play again at some point, and all 4 or 5 of these contending teams are going to be playing one another. And I do think the Mets come away with at least the second wild card spot, because with San Diego and I don't think anybody's catching the Cubs. But if the Mets could somehow take 2 of 3 from San Diego, they owe them a little revenge after getting swept in San Diego. The Mets just seem to play up to their competition, and I don't know why they do it. And, going into Detroit was a big thing, taking 2 out of 3 there when they could have obviously won all 3 games, but the bullpen meltdown at the end of game 3, they just seem to play up to the competition. I can't explain it. And when they come down, the most scary series for me is the last 3 games of the year in Miami. I'm terrified if the Mets don't have if they don't have a playoff spot clinched by then. I will be terrified of that series.
Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah,
you got a question?
Mike, I'm with you. Yeah, listen, Mike, I'm with you. First, Mike, I'm sorry for my delay on my half. I'm having internet issues. It's always something on my end. I got aluminum foil right now as antennas, trying to work something out right now. It's always something bad going on my end. That's why I couldn't be part of the MC East Roundtable. You guys did a great job, Mike. It's always I'm always glad to have you on. You're a good friend of the show. We love having you on. But the way I look at this whole for the NL for the Phillies is, the Phillies can only hurt the Phillies at this particular juncture. They got the offense. And again, they're playing against the Miami Marlins. You got 10 kids who could beat the Miami Marlins. But I think the pitching staff literally is going to make or break this Phillies team moving forward. Because without Wheeler being in that lineup, Nola you might as well write Nola off. Hopefully he could be a lightning in the bottle, being optimistic. But Lazaro could be up and down at times. He's looked good last night, but again, that's against a Marlins team, and again, playing against his old team, he's going to have revenge there. But again, Lazaro is going to be up and down. Suarez could be up and down. Christopher Sanchez has been your best other pitcher. So to me, if the pitchers can, like I said, make or break this team, because they can put this team in a hole fast, and then the offense has to put up 8 and 10 runs a game, and I don't know that's going to be sustainable. For me, it's going to be the Brew Crew, because they sustain like 4 runs a game. Like that's like their minimum average. So to me, it's going to be the Brew Crew coming out of the NL. and maybe the AL, and maybe the Yankees. And I hate to say it, but the Yankees again are when it comes postseason time, they for some whatever reason they flip that switch. So you got to look out. So. Or maybe the Blue Jays too. Blue Jays may be a off the radar, but a sneaky good team. I know they've been running away with the AL East, but you got to keep your eye out too with the Blue Jays. So, Mike, my question to you though is, I see your.
Yeah, sorry about that. Pat's still trying to get his things situated. But who do you like, Mike, over in the American League?
I got to see it I got to see it from I got to see it from Judge before I pick the Yankees. They don't have Juan Soto anymore to carry them in the postseason. Aaron Judge has been. I got to see it from him performing. They got Stanton who shows up, and they got these other guys. Torres showed up last year for the Yankees in the postseason, but until I see it from Judge, I can't back the Yankees. As of right now, it truly is an open competition. I would probably go Toronto at this very moment. I think they have the hitting. They definitely have the pitching. Toronto, yeah, I would go Toronto right now. In the National League, again, like I said with the Brewers, I see the Brewers every season do the same thing over and over and over and over. They get to the postseason and they get flailed out either in the first round. Sometimes they don't even make it to the second round. So as of now, I still don't think you count out the Dodgers. I know that they just got swept by the Pirates. We got swept by the Pirates. The Pirates are so weird, but they've been sweeping all these great teams.
They swept us. They swept us.
It's insane how they won those 9 games, and then they beat us, I think, 34-3 in those 3 games. It was pathetic. But yeah, until the Dodgers get knocked off, they have so many question marks. I'd still got to go Dodgers, and then I would go Toronto.
Dodgers and Toronto. I'm liking Houston over there. I was kind of on that Detroit train, but then after seeing Detroit here when they played the Phillies, I was kind of like, to me they look like they were the best team in baseball up because of the division they were playing in. Cleveland's not that great this year. Kansas City's been mediocre. I think Kansas City's probably closest, I think, to being a playoff team over there. So I still think, I think Houston. I think it's the Houston Astros, man, for the American League for me. I just, even though, like I said, they don't have as many wins as the Tigers and Blue Jays, they're just money in the postseason, man. They're money in the postseason. And, like right now I'm looking at the standings. Like the only other team that's in contention with them is it was Yankees, Red Sox, and I think it's the Mariners right now are basically your 3 wild card teams. But the Rangers are a game behind. The Royals are a game behind.
If you're a fan of any of those teams in the American League, you have an open shot. Every one of those teams has a shot to get into the World Series, and it's the great thing about parity that there's really no dominant team. I think you just want to probably avoid Skubal in a short series if possible with Detroit. If they have to throw him twice, you're probably screwed. Where are you guys right now in terms of who you would play if the season ended right now?
We would play.
Or do you have a bye?
We would have the bye.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're like 4 games up on the Dodgers. So they would get a bye. Right now it would be
got that man for the Mets.
Yeah, it would be I think it'd be Chicago, Mets, and it would be Dodgers, Mets, Chicago, and San Diego right now.
Yeah, in a 3-game series, anything's possible. The Dodgers don't scare me. Like I said before, I still think that they're the favorites, but it's not like they scare me at all. Which means we'll probably lose both those games early.
Yeah, but you got to think about something though. Like when they do those little, I guess those 3-game sets, like after the season, like they only give you like a day travel time. So like to me, I felt like that would be the Mets would be at a disadvantage. I mean, because they would have to go to the West Coast. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to go to Chicago than it is to go to LA. It's a 5-hour time difference, and that messes with your body. Where you get a 2.5-hour flight to Chicago, it's not going to be as bad.
I'd like to try to get into that second one so we could play the Cubs at Wrigley, because I keep saying all these teams don't scare me. Meanwhile, my team is really not scaring anybody either. But the National League's kind of the same thing. I mean, that's what this baseball season. Any one of these teams, honestly, would not shock me if they made a run. Any one of these teams in postseason contention.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, this has been like baseball wanted parity, and I think this year it was given. It was given to baseball because there's so many teams. Like, there isn't a dominant team running away. There really isn't. The Brewers play in a kind of a weak division. It's only. I mean, I say weak, but they do have like 4 of their teams are in playoff contention. So. But they just they just jumped out in the first half and kind of beat everybody up in the first half. And now they're doing what the Phillies did a year ago. Phillies got out to that hot start, and all of a sudden they coasted through the rest of the year. So, like, seeing them make probably a first-round exit, Mike, I would probably agree with you on that. Like, I'm not sold on Milwaukee getting to the World Series. No. I mean, the Phillies just took 2 or 3 from them out there, and to be honest with you, the Phillies should have returned the favor and swept them. They had one bad game out there, and but the Phillies kind of beat up on that pitching staff last weekend out there. So again, you're right. I think it's going to come down to whoever's playing the hottest ball. But give me your prediction this week, Phillies Mets. How do you see the series going?
I think at worst, I mean, for the Mets to get themselves, obviously, for them to get themselves back, they'd have to sweep them. That's not happening again, especially in Philly. I think it probably winds up being a split, which is also a win for Philly because you're not gaining ground. They're not losing ground at all. So what Philly wants to do is just keep coasting. So you could even split the series. They won't lose any ground. But worst case scenario, they probably take 3. I would say right now they take 3 or 4 from the Mets.
I'm in agreement with you, only because the Mets split the home away split how they are. The Phillies took 2 or 3 from them the last time they were here, and I could see the Phillies taking 3 or 4 here. So yeah. I think they take 3 or 4, kind of move it up a little bit. Again, you guys got a hellacious schedule though, Mike, and but I want to thank you, man, for coming on, speaking football. We love having you on, dude. You're a part of the family here with us. I want to thank you again for coming on. I'll extend it for Pat. This was our 7th anniversary show, so we're glad you were a part of it. And tell everybody where they can find you at.
Pudgy Boys Sports Talk, Pudgy Boys with a Z. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Love being on with you guys. You guys do a great job producing this whole thing, putting this whole thing together. So it's much appreciated that we all found each other and we're starting this family. And this is just a great thing that we're all doing here.
Listen, man, somewhere down the line, whether it's Phillies, Mets, we're not going to do Eagles games because Eagles games, I don't.
I'm terrified. I'm not going there.
Hey, look, listen, my son's a Giants fan. He wore his Justin Tuck jersey to Lincoln Financial Field. I got all the crap because they said I was bad parenting.
Yeah.
So but it was cool. No, but we got to do Phillies Mets, man. Maybe next year we'll all get together for a game. And I haven't been to Citi Field since I put my World Series championship hat in one of their pillars. No BS, man. I'll tell you the story about it offline. But yeah, there's a 2008 World Champion Phillies hat in one of the main pillars of Citi Field. So I don't know. Maybe I got to go dig it up and get it out of there. Maybe that's why we can't win there. But Mike, thank you once again for joining us, man. And we will talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, man. That is Pudgy Mike, as he's affectionately known. Let me bring Al back in here.
I'm already in here, bud.
Oh, well, show your face. I don't like being What an action-packed show for us. Again, I want to thank our guests.
And Pat only talked a little bit, so that's always a plus.
Well, Pat made an appearance, so I mean, look, it's great. I mean, it was our 7th anniversary.
Steve, he's like the Punxsutawney Phil over here.
Yeah, we just pull him out.
Yeah, he comes out, he sees his shadow,
and now we got 6 more weeks without him.
Yeah. Exactly. 6 more weeks of Pat Winter.
Yeah, but Pat started having some more I think
it's the plate in his head that's interfering with the internet in his house.
It's gotta be.
I watched it go from his house in a different room in every house to all the way to his car and then back again.
Yeah. Like he was desperately trying to get on. And so with that being said, Al, what's the food of the day for you, buddy?
I'm gonna be making some fancy schmancy hot dogs and hot dog burnt ends today.
Hot dog burnt ends. Never had that.
So it's where you take hot dogs, kind of slice them up, and you roll them in, barbecue sauce and seasoning, and you cook them. And you have regular burnt ends. They call them the poor man's burnt ends. So
Okay.
it's actually
Never did
pretty
it, but
smoke them up real good. They're tasty.
Okay, so Al's doing the smoker. Me, I'm doing the old-fashioned Philly thing. We're doing cheesesteaks today.
There you go.
We're doing cheesesteaks. Stress-free football today. I get to watch. I'll probably watch that Giants Redskins Commanders game. I'll probably watch that real quick. Al, my 3 picks for today for the for pros. I am taking the New England Patriots -2.5, the Arizona Cardinals -6.5, and I'm taking those New York Giants +6. There are my 3 picks for pro football today. And if you guys want a quick, I guess, player props, Jonathan Taylor over 79.5 yards, James Conner over 68.5 yards rushing, T. Higgins over 61 yards, over 61.5 receiving, and my last one, J.K. Dobbins over 44.5 yards rushing. If you do it on a bet 365, that parlay alone right there, if you put them all together, is like 11-1. So do what you feel on that one. And one last one, touchdown parlay, a 3-banger. Jamar Chase, James Conner, Mike Evans will get you about a +$12. Make sure you do that. So there's my picks, my locks, props, and parlays going for today.
All right, guys. Other than that, we want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for all our guests. Thank you for Pat for making the 7th anniversary without him. Only Pat. It's like going on an anniversary trip without your wife.
Yeah, it's like your wife goes
Stress free. It's stress free.
Yeah, like it's like your wife going, honey, I know I booked a trip to Vegas, but I'm not going to go. And oh, by the way, you're having dinner at this strip club steakhouse, and there's $2,000. Have fun. Like that's what this was like today.
So other than that, guys, a lot to watch. Don't forget the new Steel City Sundays, not Steel Sundays, Steel City Sundays. So check it out, guys. He's Mike Laro. I'm Big Al. We out of here.
Have a good one.